In today's You Ask, I Answer, Julia asks, how can a small business approach SEO when it doesn't have the budget to hire an agency and it doesn't have the in-house talent to do it? Whenever we're faced with a decision about buy or build, we don't have the resources to buy, by default we have to build. Right? You have to build the talent in-house because you can't afford the service from a third party. With the enormous amounts of free information and free tools online, you may not be up and running in a week, but it is more than possible to build an SEO capability in-house over time. Now, let's talk about what that looks like. What is the bare minimum that a small business or a business just does not have the resources needs for SEO? With the caveat, with the warning that the bare minimum is not going to rocket you to the top of the search charts. It's not going to, drive millions of people to your website like magic overnight. It will not happen, right? The bare minimum is just what you need to do to show up at all in search for relevant terms and essentially not get completely wiped out by your competitors. So, what are the things you need to do? Number one, you need to understand your space. And there's 3 things to do in understanding your space. First, use free keyword tools. There's one called Ubersuggest that's good enough. Some of its data, we're not 100% sure how it's derived, but directionally it seems right. And from what I've checked with more expensive paid tools, it's not bad. So use free tools like Ubersuggest to figure out the words and phrases and concepts that you should be competing for. So if you're a coffee shop, you should be looking at things like coffee shop near me and coffee shop in Boston or wherever you're located, and the different types of beans you carry and all that stuff. So you want to understand your space, build that map. With the tool, you can export, dozens or hundreds of keywords and build out a conceptual calendar or a conceptual map of your space. Second, keep your eye on what's trending with tools like Twitter and Facebook. There's trending topics in these platforms. There's news. Google News is another great place to look at Google Trends, the front page of Google Trends. All these are great places to just keep in touch with what your industry is talking about, what your people, what your fans are talking about, and understand that those are things that you probably should be creating content about. If people are talking about it and is relevant to you, you should have something on your site about it. And then the third is understanding the events in your space. If you have a major conference, a major event in your space, or several of them, you should know when they occur. You should have in advance. Like some conferences start advertising the day after the previous one ends, so you know in advance when it's going to happen, and you know what you should be doing leading up to those things. Once you have all that information, build it out as a quarterly content calendar. Hey, this week we're going to tackle this. This week we're going to tackle this. And you're going to write content based on your point of view about all these different things kind of welded together. The most important thing to do with the content is to fulfill the intent of the searcher in your content. So if you know your customers, which you should, regardless of business size, and you know what they want, which you should, regardless of business size, then when you create that content, you create it with an eye towards answering all of their questions. So if someone is searching for a coffee shop, a vegan-friendly coffee shop, what are they searching for? Well, they're obviously searching for a business that offers vegan products, but what else do you know about that person? Should you be serving them just coffee? Like, hey, we're a vegan coffee shop that also serves vegan pastries, or here's how we certify that all of our products are vegan safe. So there's an intent to those searches. Rand Fishkin over at SparkToro has written a lot about this. Really terrific blog to check in on. Then, once you've got your stuff and you've posted it to your website, try to post one thing a week. Right? One article, one point of view. If you use a tool like Ubersuggest, it's going to spit out dozens, possibly hundreds of different search terms. And yes, some of them will be semantically related together, but conceptually, you're going to have stuff that is going to be different and unique. And even if you never use the advanced tools like predictive analytics and stuff to figure out timing, you still will have a decent amount of stuff to write content about. So try to post something every week. You want to use analytics, Google Analytics and Google Search Console and Bing Webmaster Tools to measure your progress. What are people finding your website for? And is it relevant? And if it is, great. Do more of the stuff that's working. Use those tools to report on what's working and what's not. And finally, invest in yourself. Train yourself. Read blogs by Stone Temple Consulting, Moz, RF, SEMrush, Search Engine-ld, Search Engine Watch, the Google Webmasters blog. Read the industry content because it will tell you what's going on in the search industry. Again, all that stuff is free. Everything we have talked about from top to bottom costs $0. If you don't have the time for SEO, make the time. Make the time. Shorten your lunch. Come into work half an hour earlier. Stay half an hour later. Work from home. Do whatever you have to do to get yourself skilled up on SEO and doing the basics. Even if the company itself doesn't necessarily appreciate or value these things, might be time to change companies if that's the case. But even if that's the case, you're investing in yourself as a marketer, as a practitioner, to build these skills so that wherever you work next, you will have the ability to bring that to the table. So again, this is the skeleton. This is the table minimum of SEO stuff that you can do for a business with absolutely nothing. Now, like I said at the beginning, this will not rocket you to the top of the charts for popular search terms. You have no chance of competing if you're going to do the minimum of winning, search results for popular short form terms. It's not going to dramatically change your business overnight. Millions of people are not going to show up on your website tomorrow if you put up a new article. But you may want to tell your C-suite that as a precaution. But if you follow this rigorously, if you do your research, if you build a calendar, if you execute a plan, if you publish something new every week, that helps your audience fulfill their needs and what they're interested in, you will gain benefit from SEO. And the more you do it, the longer you do it, the more you benefit. In your first year, you're not going to do much, right? You'll have only posted 50 weeks of content, 50 different pieces of content. But compound that over time, over a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. When you get to the 10-year mark and you've got 500 pieces of content on your site that is relevant to what your audience wants, you're going to get significant search benefit. Obviously, the more stuff you make that's relevant at a faster pace, the faster you'll gain benefit from SEO. But if you do the minimum, one new thing of anything a week, you will be on the journey. You'll be starting out the journey. And that's how you approach it when you don't have the budget and when you don't have the talent. You become the talent and you create the platform for which you build your eventual search dominance. Great question, Julia. As always, please subscribe to the newsletter and to the YouTube channel, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. If you want help with your company's data and analytics, visit braintrustinsights.com today and let us know how we can help you.